up in a car wash, gentlemen.
Rob Kibbe.
Don't tell me. You're from outer space.
No, I'm from Iowa. I only work in outer space.
Mike Finnegan.
Go that way, really fast. If something gets in your way, turn.
Two guys talking cars.
I am a semi-professional race car driver and an amateur tattoo artist.
Taking on the most serious topics.
But we will give nothing back to the academic community, as well as provide no public service of any kind. This much I promise you.
And the Dukes of Hazzard. On iTunes, Stitcher, and whatever else it is you listen on. The Kibbe and Finnegan Show.
Kibbe and Finnegan Show, episode number 96. The final chapter. The closing of the book. The end of the page. The last sequel.
What do you mean, Rob? What are you referring to?
Oh, everybody knows. Yeah, you quit. Yeah.
Oh, they do? They know?
They're well aware.
Oh.
I have received a few messages about this topic.
So they're like, hoo-ah.
No. Everybody is sad to see you go. That's the overwhelming sentiment. And at the same time, everybody is more than welcoming of Corn Dog to come in and be the dog master. And I think the show we did last week, he stretched his chops a little bit, and it was well appreciated. So we got things rolling here.
Oh, I think it's only going to get better.
It'll be great. We are still going to call you from time to time, though, and I do still plan to sleep in your basement.
I might answer, I suppose.
Okay. Or not. This could be the end of a wonderful romance.
Unless it's 3 a.m. from the bar. I don't know. I might not answer that.
I would like to be invited if that's the case. But I have put together a fun show for us to wrap out on. And we're going to review the Dukes of Hazzard episode that, ironically, started the whole thing. Yeah, so, good one to finish her up on. But
we're going to burn this place to the ground.
We may as well. But from the heart, I have truly enjoyed this. I look forward to doing these, and things change, and that's fine. But this just should be a fun one to end out on. What are your top moments here? What have you learned in the podcast space, other than it's a very difficult financial model?
What have I learned? I've learned you're really enthusiastic about your underwear.
True.
Probably didn't need to know that, but I've learned that. Let's see. We made one of your dreams come true and mine. Both got chargers.
We did.
That's awesome.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. We've learned probably too much about Corn Dog and his involvement with the Gomo girls.
He's an expert. He knows a lot of things. Well,
what else? I don't know. It's been a good run. I don't even know how long we've been doing this, but it feels like a couple of years. A couple of good years.
I think one of our goals was to get to 100 episodes. We're close. One of my favorite things that we have done is script reenactments, and we didn't do very many of those, but I do enjoy doing those. So
I think we only did it twice. I think. Well,
one of my requests is to do one more.
Oh, all right.
So I am emailing you something, and it's a very short script reenactment.
God, I hope it's about Megaforce.
No.
I have you a Christmas present for you.
Oh,
but I forgot it downstairs. I don't have it in front of me, and I wish I did. So I'll just have to tell you about it. Okay. It was a gift to me that I really think needs to go to you. I was at the PRI show.
This is a recycled present?
I'm regifting, sure. But I think even this fan would appreciate what I'm about to do here. Mm-hmm. So a Roadkill fan came up to me at the PRI show in Indianapolis a few weeks ago and handed me something. And as soon as I saw it, I went, you know what? This is too good for me. Kibbe really needs this in his life. And it's a black T-shirt. And on the back of it, it says, "The good guys always win, even in the 80s. And on the front, the Megaforce logo. And it's your size. And I think to myself, you know what, Finnegan, don't be greedy. Let Kibbe have this. Let him enjoy it. Let him wear it proudly.
Send it on over.
I'm mailing it to you, dude.
Please do. I will put that in just the right place.
You better not use it as a rag.
Is it a good shirt, or is it just
It's an awesome T-shirt. It's an awesome T-shirt. Like, I want you to appreciate this. I would wear this out, like right here, right. Like last night was my wife's birthday. I was tempted to wear this shirt out.
Oh, yeah?
But I thought, no, don't soil it, Mike. Save it for Kibby.
I appreciate that. I will wear it once. I will. And if it's a fuzzy, cuddly shirt, I'll wear it even more. But I could.
It's a good quality item.
I can do that in your honor. So this is what I want. This is the other going away present. I want to reenact one scene from Airplane 2. And this is a very short scene. One of your favorite sayings is "over Macho Grande."
Would you like to be the witness or the prosecutor?
I think you're the witness. There is no background music here, but I'm going to lay some in anyway because it's funnier. And this is actually like Airplane's soundtrack. Okay, so...
You let me know when you're ready, sir.
You're the witness. Fire away.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're in court. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Stryker was the squadron leader. He brought us in real low, but he couldn't handle it.
Buddy couldn't handle it. Was Buddy one of your crew?
Right. Buddy was the bombardier, but it was Stryker who couldn't handle it, and he went to pieces.
Andy went to pieces?
No, Andy was the navigator. He was all right. Buddy went to pieces. It was awful how he came unglued.
How he came unglued?
No, how he was a rock. The best tail gunner in the outfit. Buddy came unglued.
Oh, and he bailed out?
No, Andy hung tough. Buddy bailed out. How he survived was a miracle.
Then how he survived?
No, afraid not. We lost Howie the next day.
Over Macho Grande?
No, I don't think I'll ever get over Macho Grande. Those wounds run pretty deep.
It's even the sad part of the music. That's great. Thank you. That's what I really wanted. I'll take the shirt too.
Airplane 2 is just cinematic nirvana.
It was the reason I got kicked off of the high school newspaper.
Really?
Because I didn't want to be on the high school newspaper, and I only joined it because my friends were in it. And this was back in the day when they would do layouts on a computer, but they'd print it, and you'd have to make your layouts that went to an actual printer on these enormous boards, and they're physical mock-ups.
Right.
And like I would lay out the tooling and cut it and truly just assemble all the pieces of paper, pictures, and everything so that when it went to the printer and they run it through, it would print. And the lady that ran the paper insisted that I write something because she was wanting to make journalists out of all of us. I couldn't just be a grunt. That's all I wanted to be. So she said, you have to write a movie review. And I said, great. And I blew it off until hours before it was due. And the only review I could do was one I had seen from memory was Airplane 2. And I said, Airplane 2 is a hit. People love it. And I wrote the whole thing, including like all of the actors' names and best scenes, top to bottom, proofread it, gave it to her. And it was too late for her to do anything. She had to run it. She actually ran it. And I was asked to leave the paper after that was done.
Why? Because of your tardiness, or?
Because she didn't want that crap. She wanted me to go review like a new movie or, write something more educational or something like that.
She made it all about her. That's the problem with a lot of educators.
It sucked. It totally sucked. Anyway, that was the case.
You got kicked off the school paper? What else have you been kicked out of?
A few different things. That's the only one that comes to mind that I was surprised by.
Strip clubs, bars, weddings.
I was not expecting that. I have some news. I ran a little competition here. The Silver Sport transmission controller, I am announcing the winner of it in this show. And so he'll have to listen to this show to find out. So for my generally, I have this A41 automatic from Silver Sport, which is really a GM 4L60E. And it comes with a controller and like a carburetor, throttle position sensor, everything. It's a TCI unit, easy TCU. But I don't need that anymore because I'm putting the Holley system on, which will control it anyway. So the winner of this standalone controller for their project had to submit something. I totally copy what you do. I had people basically write why they would like to have one on Instagram in a post. And then if they also followed Silver Sport, that would get them an extra point if they tagged a friend that they thought could use it. I was really trying to be genuine about it. And what was really hard was choosing a winner. I don't know if you have a tried and true strategy for that, but reading it was hard to pick a winner. It was
How many
hard.
submissions did you have to go through?
Maybe 50 real ones.
And how many not real ones?
There were a lot that were just junk. Like, hey, would this work on my Hyundai? Or yeah, I mean, it would just get just random crap from somebody that didn't even know what they were replying to. I really had it down to like 4 hardcore ones, and I had talked to Jeff at Silver Sport to see, hey, did anybody here follow you? And he gave me a big list so I could see who actually followed him too. I wanted them to get the credit. But I finally got it. So here's the winner. After much deliberation, Barry Davidson. Barry, you win this TCI Easy TCU controller for your 1978 Silverado Big 10. That was the truck your grandpa helped you get that you're getting back on the road in his honor. So congrats, Barry. Barry, I'm still using this controller. It's totally still in my car, and you can't have it until I'm done with it. But I promise I will get it to you. And I have
been away you stuff. I love it.
Well, it was either that or return it back, or I didn't have any other reason to have it. And I wanted somebody else to use it. And Jeff at Silver Sport said, let's give it away as a Christmas gift. So that's what we did.
Great idea.
So Barry, send me an email. We'll work out how to get it to you and when. Appreciate you submitting.
Is it really a Christmas gift if you keep it all through Christmas and he doesn't have it under the tree? Rob?
Well, no, it's
Merry Christmas. You'll get this someday.
Here's a half-full beer bottle.
Don't hit each other over the heads with it.
Well, that's as good as I could get, so you'll get it when I'm got it ready. But when we put it in, like, I zip-tied all the wires together. I cut one wire, and that's the wire anybody would have to cut. That's the wire to switch power.
Is it the red wire?
It was pink. That's what I will do. So, do you have a strategy for your giveaways? Or is it just like you're looking for the coolest or funniest submission?
Most of the time I go with the sentimental submission. You know, the last thing I gave away was a Miller welder. Really nice machine that you can TIG weld, MIG weld, stick weld with. It's called the Multimatic 220. Thing's awesome. And I gave that away to, was it a grandfather? No, a father who was going to teach his son to weld. Grown son. And when his son was done, quote unquote, graduating from his welding school, he was going to give him the welder. And the father had relayed a story to me about how his father had taught him to weld, and they're just passing down the knowledge, which I'm all about it. I'm passing down the knowledge, like getting people involved in the trades. I'm into that. So that guy won. But I have given away things that literally someone just wrote something random, like kittens exploding, that just tickled my funny bone. Not that I want to see all kittens explode, but you know. There's actually a card game about kittens exploding. Anyway, so yeah, sometimes you make me laugh. You win things. It's great.
I do also choose sentimental usually, but it is very tough to overlook funny. Several submissions were just funny. Whoever told me I had a big forehead, though, you lose. I deleted your post.
It's not that big. You. It's just shiny.
It's prominent.
Which probably makes it appear larger than it really is.
Unfortunately, it's getting bigger.
And from here, it looks like you have no eyebrows. They kind of all blend together.
It's very true. What is there is so light that you can't even see them, but they're getting pretty thin, just like the top of my head. Do you have any other albino friends, or am I it?
You're really the only powdery like guy I know. I mean, dude, that makes you special.
Just what I want to hear.
We're all special.
Speaking of special, a special What's Burning Bernie was sent in. I have not reviewed any of it. I just got it. I'm playing this sight unseen. Okay.
It's Burning Questions with Bernie. Now, if you've got a question for us, send it care of email to robert@themusclecarplace.com. That's robert@themusclecarplace.com. Well, this is it. The final countdown. The end of the line for Finnegan. The last hurrah. So long, Saucy. So long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Curtain coming down. The fat lady is singing. The last page is being read. Houston, we have touchdown. See you later, Finnegator. Yeah, it's the end of an era and life goes on. And man, we just wish you well and look forward to having you back from time to time. But before we go, I wanted to run down just a quick list of stuff that tells you what kind of inspiration you've been to us. I mean, really, kind of a Christmas gift of sorts. So All right, number 1. Finnegan, you're the guy that shows us that anything can be fixed anywhere, and that is so cool. Thanks for giving us all that extra shot of confidence to work on stuff. You know, I know it's made a big difference for me, so thanks a lot. Number 2, man, thanks for being real. There are reasons the whole car world wants to kick back and have a beer with Finnegan. The video of the El Camino for your wife, man, are you kidding? Right here, man. Enough said. Number 3, dude, you're the only person I know that can really, really rock a flat brim hat. Most of us look like Engineer Bob with them on, but you can really pull it off. Cool. Number 4, now I've got a real visual when you say the word Yeti. Number 5, there is no number 5. And number 6, more than anything, man, thanks for showing us 2 Beer Mike. He is a national treasure. Mike, thanks again for everything. Can't wait to see you soon. Well, that's it. Remember, send your stuff to Burning Questions with Bernie, care of Robert@themusclecarplace.com, and we will be back in touch soon. Farewell, my friend.
The music was just amazing and touching. Thank you, Bernie. Thank you. I'm sure you were serious.
Have you ever heard the Hotel California, like the guitar Latino version?
Well, that sounded like the porn version of
I thought that's what it was. I like 2 Beer Mike, too. That guy's a good time. Or 4 Beer Mike. Also a good time.
6-pack Mike is, yeah, let's party.
So, speaking of that, what do you do for Christmas? Do you have any major plans here? I think before we started recording, you said you're off for like 2 actual weeks, which is pretty remarkable.
Home. What am I doing? Christmas Eve, I'm going to go to my brother's house. Christmas Day at home with the kids. Usually the afternoon of Christmas Day, we go to my folks' house for a holiday meal. And then after that, I've got people coming in to visit, which is going to be awesome. Some friends and family that have never been to Georgia coming to visit, so I'm stoked about that.
That'll be really fun. Traveling anywhere?
No. Just kicking it here in Georgia. The furthest I hope to go is a bowling alley and my garage. That's about it.
Do you have projects to do over Christmas that are technically work, or is it all like fun stuff?
I really should be working on the ramp truck right now to make it reliable, because I need to drive cross country first week of February for that race with John Chase. Yeah. So my plan is to haul the 55 on the back of the ramp truck. That truck currently has no heater in it, so we need that working, and the driver's side window falls down off the track because the regulator's busted. So we gotta fix a few things, you know.
You put a new interior in it. Did you get like bucket seats for the front?
No, those have always been in there. We're about to redo work I've already done to that truck.
Mm-hmm.
I had already put new carpet in that truck, but then we put in the Cummins 12-valve trans tunnel and firewall. Well, we've patched all that with metal, fixed all that, raised it up higher. Now the carpet doesn't fit, so now it needs carpet again. And I had already put a new hood on that car, and then it sat so long in Georgia that the hood hinges froze up a little bit, and when I went to close it one day, it bent in half. And so I now need another new hood. And luckily I didn't paint that hood that was on there because it bent in half. So I need to replace the hood hinges, put a new hood on it, finally paint that, and fix the window regulator and put some sort of heater and defroster in there so I can drive.
Are you going to run like a factory setup or a vintage air unit or something like that?
I don't know. See, I had cut the firewall out for the cylinder head of the Cummins, which you can put the Cummins in there and not do that. You can totally do that. But I wanted the ability to get the motor out without pulling the cab off the truck. And it requires such a radical tilt to get the motor out of the engine compartment. You couldn't do it, basically. It was hitting the firewall. So I cut the firewall and tubbed it backwards, which is right about where I think some of that AC plumbing was, some of the ductwork. So I don't know if I can put factory-style AC back in there. I probably need an aftermarket unit, and I don't know anybody at aftermarket AC companies anymore, do you? Yeah,
lots.
Make some friends.
Very tight with Vintage Air. I like their products, and I love their people. That's exactly who I would go to, and they do make... how much of the firewall did you cut? Because all their Gen 4 kit would... all the stuff you would hang would be on the inside anyway?
Yeah, all we modified was just the area directly above the bell housing and behind the cylinder head. So just the middle part.
I am assuming that if it's like every other Gen 4 kit they make, the whole evaporator unit tucks right up behind the dash. And you'll put a couple holes in the firewall to run your lines through, and that's about it.
So you don't use that big old factory box that was on the firewall, right?
Mm-mm. In fact, you'll remove that. And
it's already been removed.
Well, you're one step ahead.
Forcefully, it was removed.
Typically, if you just had an OEM truck and you're just upgrading the AC, you would remove that whole box. They include a plate for the firewall that would go in its spot with the holes for the evaporator unit pre-made if they go in through that for a particular one. On my Chevelle, we use one of their Gen 4 units, and that car already had like a way custom firewall anyway. So it really didn't follow any instructions other than put it here, but it got tucked up super nice and tight. So when you sit in the car, if you look under the dash, you will see it. But if you're just sitting in the passenger seat, I don't think you even know it's there. It tucks in super nice, and on most of their cars, it hangs down a little lower. But on my car, we had the dash out, and I mean, it was pretty gutted anyway. I think their new, all the first-gen Camaro kits just got redesigned, so they now tuck up nice and tight, kind of like the way we did it. That was just happenstance, but I can send Rick Love an email. I'm sure he would work with you on that. But, dude, they're awesome people. And they're in San Antonio. I mean, they live in hot all the time. You can't really run around Texas without air. So that'd be
they understand the struggle of Georgia in August.
They would get it. They would absolutely get it. The craziest thing, though, is the fan speed. And it still blows me away when I get in and I turn the fan on high and you just hear this of air as compared to the old blower, which was...
Do you need a louder stereo system now, though?
It's pretty loud anyway, but now I rarely listen to music when I drive that car. I just rock with the windows down. I'm happy.
Oh, yeah, there's certain cars that... If you have a great engine and exhaust, no stereo needed. But if you're driving cross-country in a Ram truck with the loudest diesel you've ever heard and an air inlet that's just whistling the whole time, you need stereo. So that's the other thing I just reminded. I need to put a system in there. I need some bass to drown out all the noise.
I'm looking for a radio for my Charger, which would be really nice. It has no radio right now, and I just want to put like a factory one in it.
See, I don't even want that. I just need amplification and a Bluetooth adapter and just run everything off my phone. I don't need a radio or anything. In the square body truck, you can't see the radio anyway because you pull the shifter down, the column shift blocks the radio, and the steering wheel blocks the radio because of where they put it in from the factory. So that part's pretty useless.
So do you just need like racing headphones, like the NASCAR style ones? And
that would get annoying after 2,500 miles of driving. Now I need bass, some door speakers. Brothers Trucks sells these awesome adapters that go in the rear corners of the truck where you can put 6x9s right in the corners of the cab.
Yeah.
And just, who is it? Somebody makes an adapter to go from Bluetooth to RCA. So you can just use your phone as the source device. No more CDs, no more head unit, no radio, nothing. Just, I've got 6,000 songs on my phone. All I need is a way to get it to an amplifier.
Okay. I have been dreaming about some projects I want to do on your Charger for next year. But
I forgot I had one.
You do. How married? It's your car, so you can do whatever you want. But how married are you to the kind of the chicken wire grill you got in that car with the headlights behind it?
I'd have to go back and look at it. I don't want to...
Because right now it has a very General Mayhem look to it.
I don't want to un-Joe Barry the car.
Okay, and well, the only cosmetic change I would propose making is sticking a 68 Charger grill in it, like a real one. And only because I'm in love with all of the 68 Charger NASCAR vintage pictures I've ever seen.
I'd have to look at it. I don't even remember what that grill looks like. What I did want to do was it needed another set of lights that we didn't have at the time and that we couldn't make fit at the time because of some of the grill work that was in there. But it's got just 2 lights. It needed 4. That'll look tough. But yeah, forward me a picture of a 68 NASCAR Charger.
Just for fun. I wonder if I can.
Or if you don't have it handy, I'll Google it when we're done.
I have... Try that.
So the lead car, I don't even see a grill in it. It looks like my car.
There is a grill in it. I got one more. Yeah, if you look at that other one. So that's Bobby Isaac's 68, number 71 K&K insurance car. That car is one of my favorite stock cars of all time.
Oh, I like the chin spoiler.
I do too. I would leave your car Joe Barry, stick a grill and a chin spoiler on it, and it's done. Cosmetic. Okay. That's the only changes I would make. I would definitely not change the paint, leave the vinyl top, everything. Everything's pretty sweet.
You have an eye for style, my friend. You do. I like that it's got numbers on it.
I don't think
I haven't seen my car in months. I don't remember. David Newbern borrowed it. Oh, God. So the other night, we're in the garage, and he's like, hey, did you ever listen to that Patreon show you did? And I'm like, no, I never did. And he's like, do you remember the end of it? I'm like, no. And he plays it for me, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, that was you that had written in, and Kippy was reading it. I had no idea.
He's pretty sneaky.
Oh, he is. Can't be trusted.
He's posted some pictures of that car, but from the front with the two headlights, it looks like a 69 Camaro sometimes. They're just...
Yeah, it does.
And sweet Jesus, the camber is so bad. It looks like it was tipping over.
It does not drive straight.
Yeah.
But it goes left really well.
I'm sure it does.
Surprisingly well. Like, it's not scary to go fast around left-handers, which is what Joe Barry intended, so he's no dummy.
Back to your John Chase race. So are there any updates here? I have not really followed along with John Chase's upgrades, but what is he doing to prepare for you?
So we have a date, February 8th and 9th. We have a location, Pomona, California, at the Fairplex, which is the site of the NHRA Winter Nationals. NHRA is super cool, and they're going to let us pit, park, hang out, sling T-shirts, and have our race. It'll be best 2 out of 3. Loser shaves their beard right there at the racetrack. In fact, I think there's going to be a barber there. And John's got a lot to lose because me, like I said, Yeti, it'll grow back quickly. Other than the fact that I haven't seen my second chin in a number of years, and my wife's not in a hurry to see chin number 2. John obviously has a lot invested in that beard, both in the amount of money he spends on product for it and the amount of hours he puts into caring for it. So
John has the true look of a SoCal car guy, and he's got the full uniform. In fact, I've been thinking about developing a uniform, like a beard and hat.
Oh, the hipster uniform?
Yeah. Tattoo sleeve, all of it. It's all there.
He is SoCal cool. What's going on right now? So he and I have been texting because he was supposed to chassis dyno his car this week and had some issues with the motor. So it's, where are we, December 20th? Car hasn't been chassis dynoed yet. He hasn't gotten a license yet. Car hasn't made a hit at the track. February 8th and 9th, he needs to be lined up next to me going fast. He's under a great deal of stress, and I wish him all the best because I want this to be a good race. I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but I don't think John has to lose for me to win. Like, drag racing is the only time, I think, where, there has to be a winner and a loser, except, like, winning can be a lot of different things. Winning for him could be his first 8-second pass. It could be getting down the drag strip. It could be getting a license. Like, there's a lot of ways to win, even if you don't turn on the win light on the drag strip. And so I want John to go fast. I want him to haul ass. I don't hate the guy at all, so... I told him, I'm like, whatever parts you need, whatever help you need, let me know, dude. I'm down. I'll come out there and wrench. Let's make it happen.
I hope you do that. That would be even better. But I guess I'm not expecting that car to go that fast, but I could be totally wrong. Does he have a chassis or any good suspension or anything equipped for it?
I don't know anything about that car because they haven't put out a video about it, I think, since they called me out on the internet. I don't know much about it. What I've heard is that it's a supercharged LS with like I don't know if it's a Whipple or a Magnuson or what's on top of it, but it's a newer style supercharger, not an old Roots style blower. I've heard it's got nitrous. He's running ethanol. It should make north of 1,100 horsepower or more.
Now, does he have full access to the empire of the Hoonigan racing machine at his disposal?
My guess is yes. I mean, I'm expecting to show up, and that is a well-built, maybe not well-sorted car, but it should on paper haul ass. But God, you never know. I mean, he could fully get roadkilled, He may be the night before pushing the button and firing it up, I just don't know.
Your car is pretty well sorted. I mean, you've had a very full year of running that thing and tuning it, especially how your drag week ended. And I know that you blew the engine up at the very end, but you were learning some shock setup stuff probably during that week that maybe was new to you, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, but it all went out the window because unbeknownst to me, during the 1,000-mile drive at drag week, that car, everything is solid mounted in that car, including the engine. Everything was coming loose, and I didn't realize this until a few days ago when I started disconnecting things in the back end of the car. But almost every bolt that was holding a pivot point of the rear suspension to the axle came loose and oblonged all of the holes and all the brackets for the ladder bars. Like, to the point where there was one bolt, the bolt was together, right? I could see a bolt hole outside of the head of the bolt. That's how bad it had hollowed out the hole. And I was like, oh my God, maybe that's why on the very last day the car just started going left again, because nothing's tight. Even though the bolt was tight, nothing's tight on this car. Coilovers were loose, everything was loose, but we were in such a hurry to just make a hit on the last day that I don't think we bolt checked anything. We just swapped the coil springs over, unloaded the car, went out there and ran it. So I'm probably starting from square zero. I'm going to go visit the chassis shop again in January, fix all the rounded out holes, and bolt everything together tight again. But, by then it'll be January in Georgia. There's no drag strip open. So I'm going to be driving cross country with an untested car again.
Can you test it when you get there?
That's my plan, is to show up early and test.
But not break it while you test it?
Hope not. I'm bringing lots of parts with me. Spare Mantic clutch, spare flywheel, spare anything I have spares of, I'm bringing it with me, just in case.
Now, will this be on Roadkill as well, or is this a separate event?
It's going to be cool. So the Hoonigans are shooting a new show called Call Out Kings.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be on their channel. Roadkill's filming an episode, which should be pretty damn cool. I'm going to line up against the F-Bomb Camaro on our deal.
Are you really?
And then road trip. Yeah, Freiberger and I are going to race, and then we're going to road trip to Pomona from wherever the heck he and I are starting out at. And then when we get to Pomona, I'm going to race John. And no one's talked about it yet, but I think Freiberger wants to race the winner of that race. And his car, that thing should haul butt. It's 1,500 horsepower twin-turbo second-gen Camaro. It should go fast. So it should go faster than either one of these gassers should be going safely.
In theory, it should.
Yeah.
In theory, communism works.
It's all your point of view,
Speaking of MeUndies, this is just the time to integrate underwear.
MeUndies is going to love that you just jumped from communism to underwear.
Well, you know what? They've been good to us. That's one more reason why we want to end the show out with them. Plus, we are contractually obligated to do so. But by the time they hear this, Christmas will have already happened. And that's for the listeners too, Mike. Hopefully there's some Christmas jingles under here that Bernie has put in post. Because there is really nothing like the post-Christmas downer that affects us all. And if you want to re-inflate that flaccid attitude of yours, give your downstairs neighbor the late gift they'll thank you for all year long. That's right, a new pair of chonies. MeUndies boxers, briefs, or cuddly lounge pants, or unisex onesies. Did you see that Dak Shepard and Kristen Bell have them too, Mike?
No, I'm not hanging out in their closet, so no, didn't know that.
They're on Instagram. They're celebrities.
Excited, though. Excited.
One thing I know about celebrities is that if they endorse a product, that's authentic and heartfelt, and they have done so. So here's the scoop. MeUndies uses coveted micromodal fabric, which is 3 times softer than cotton. I just put some of that coveted cotton downstairs this morning to go to workout. I came home with a smile on my face and amazing support. You can get a style that's perfectly suited for yourself or that's someone special. If they do for me, I wonder what they do for women. I have no idea. It must be pretty fantastic, though. And they even have holiday prints. Mike, if you just had one pair of undies, what would you choose? A MeUndies tight package, a boxer, or the big onesies? What would you go for? Well, that's fine. Well, good news here. MeUndies would make a great stocking stuffer, even though Christmas is already over by now. But why stop with just that? Get everything they have in their catalog. Mike, can you just do the call to action for these wonderful, wonderful people?
Help me, Kristen Bell. Help me. All right. Listeners, I love you guys. And because I love you so much, we're going to help you out. You're going to get 15% off your first pair of MeUndies, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. And the way to do this, super easy. Go to MeUndies.com/KAFS. That's MeUndies.com/KAFS.
Got Bernie a pair of their Christmas lounge pants. He loves them.
Do they accentuate all of his burniness? Is there a photo online?
I do have a photo. Would you like to see it? I don't know that we're going to put this online. It's clean. Ish. I think we'll get a big kick out of it.
Are we doing this?
Yeah, I'm just going to take this to you. Okay.
Not having a problem with the burn during that photo.
There's plenty of room. there. Looks like. Well, you take a look at that photo, and I think now is the time to get to the review of the Dukes of Hazzard episode that did help us start this show, so it's fitting that it will help us wrap up their normal segment as we do it.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm.
This is Season 7, Episode 1, titled Happy Birthday General Lee, written by Cy Rose, directed by Tom Wopat, original air date September 21, 1984. Mike, did you see this episode?
Indeed, I did.
Do you have a gist of a summary of any kind?
I didn't even notice it.
What's that?
Oh, yeah. I do. Are you ready?
I'm ready. How about it?
Okay. Friends, neighbors, dirtbags everywhere. If you do nothing else this holiday season, if you don't partake in spiked eggnog or white elephant gift exchanges, if you don't get blasted on holiday cheer and upper deck a total stranger's toilet at a Christmas party, if you do none of these things, do yourself a favor and download Season 7, Episode 1 of the Dukes of Hazzard. I think we just lost Jimmy. You okay?
Just don't get a lot of upper decker references, anymore. It's more of a college thing.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Not only will watching this episode fill the void of goodwill toward men and shenanigans in your life, but you're also going to learn valuable and priceless information, such as how the Duke boys came up on the General Lee in the first place and welded the door shut. You're also going to find out why Daisy slings beer to savages at the Boars Nest when there's perfectly good jobs available for women at the Hazzard County Post Office.
True.
You're even going to get to see Rosco with dyed hair and a cheesy porn stash, and you'll discover that neither I nor Bo Duke like mayonnaise and our sandwiches. You get all of this just by giving 47 minutes of your precious time to your favorite screen. Now, if that ain't the gift that keeps on giving, I don't know what is. The fun begins with the Duke family reminiscing about the day a black 68 Charger came into their lives. And this wasn't a family heirloom. The Duke boys bought the car from a junkyard after it had been impounded during a failed robbery attempt. But the crooks weren't that dumb. Before they were apprehended, they stashed sacks of gold dust behind the dash of the car. And of course, the Duke boys, they don't know that their new would-be hot rod is carrying contraband inside. And this would prove to be a problem during the rebuild and rebirth of their new racer/family member. Meanwhile, the Dukes are under insane pressure because they're trying to build themselves a race car in just 2.5 days using money they borrowed from Boss Hogg in the hopes that they can win the Hazzard $10,000 road race. And winning means keeping the family farm, which they foolishly put up as collateral against a very rapey, let's say, 15% loan that they have brokered from Boss Hogg.
Payday loan.
Yeah. And winning also means that Rosco will shave his Ron Jeremy special off his upper lip and that Boss will eat his big-ass hat. Now, it should be no surprise that the Dukes do end up winning. This is TV after all. And as we all know, in 80s TV, the good guys always win, even in the 80s. But they also win because their badass Charger pretty much just has to get around a bunch of mid-70s box land yachts, including a Caddy, a Lincoln, an Impala, and a Boss Hogg's Hellcat, which is nothing more than an old G-body Chevy.
Malibu.
And,
yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah,
why did they do the 4-doors? Don't know.
It looked like a demo derby that just, never got hard. And in the process, the bad guys are apprehended. Everyone lives happily after. It's typical shit, but a good one. And it's true that, okay, this race is pretty much a snooze fest. And the jumps are all performed by lame-ass model cars.
Yeah.
However, I'm still giving this one 15 out of a possible 10 lot lizard eating, truck stop smoking, county fair fighting, corn dogs because this is my last Dukes review ever. And I want to keep it positive.
Is that the sum? Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, good. Excellent review.
And in more good news, obviously, Kibby and Corndog, they'll be here keeping on, so that every week you can know exactly what color Luke's underwear is.
Yes. I think Corndog and I have talked, and we are never going to try to summarize the show, ever. Because we don't want to follow in your footsteps, and it's too hard.
No upper deckers?
No upper deckers, no No multiple references of the S word.
No alliteration?
Some alliteration. It's like being superstitious if you're just a little stitious. Interesting that you called it a 68 Charger. And the General Lee is a 69, or is he?
It seems to keep changing. Plus, they reference 68 in the episode.
The Junkyard Man specifically said it's a black 68 coupe.
It's one of the few times the word Charger even comes out of anyone's mouth. I think it was Waylon in this episode called it a Charger.
I think in the entire run of the series, I've heard the word Charger uttered one other time, and that was by Luke. I forget the episode, but it was a Cale Yarborough one when he had a white Charger.
Yeah, and the one with the turbo?
Yeah, they went and got another car, and he said, all we need is one more Charger, and then we'll have 3, and then we can fake out, the bad guys trying to find us. I don't have Corndog's notes. He wasn't able to get them to me in time, so I did my best Corndog summary, and then I'll put his in here in the post-edit.
Corndog, this is not a good way to start your post-Finnegan run.
Oh, he's already moved on. He's, getting his own trailer, and,
Star Wagon?
He's assumed the prime role here. But to me, this was one of the episodes that, as a kid, I had VCR'd off of, reruns. I have watched this episode as a kid 3 million times. I know every line, every inch of music in here, and watching it again just to do this with you was such a fun reminder. There's wonderful little lilts just in the editing. Like when the Duke boys find the wrecked black Charger, when they walk up to it, the soundtrack is like the Dixie horn, but played on a harmonica. I mean, it's all sad and happy sounding. But my takeaway in watching it this time is that the car almost gets a soul from them. They need it as much as it needs them. But until they find it, it's not a special car. And then immediately it is, because it almost becomes magical. Because when they jump it the first time, they are terrified. They're mortified. They're scared. They can't believe that they're not dead, number one.
Yeah,
number
two,
two,
they made it.
It's fine. It's
fine. And you remember at the end of the episode where they're in the middle of the race and they're behind, they're going to lose. And Luke turns to him and says, do you think you could do that jump thing again?
Yeah, this is new to them. They're at a point in their lives when they don't normally fly a car, which is crazy. I did take some notes just kind of on the gist of the show overall, just from a production standpoint. So you're right. This is the first episode where they use model cars for stunts. This is the beginning of the end. You know it's going to end. The whole series after this is not good. You get a little bit of the sense of timeline in here, because Luke states that when they got the General Lee, he was just out of the Marines and Bo was just out of high school. So they're clearly at least 4 years apart, maybe more, just based on a normal term of service in the Marines. I like that they not only put hair on Boss and gave Rosco a mustache, but even Roscoe's car is backdated a little bit. It's got round Fury headlights, so it's a little older. It's got the old style gumballs on it even, which I think is kind of neat.
They did a good job of the Charger not looking at all like a General Lee.
Yeah.
There was not a hint of orange paint or overspray on that thing in the beginning.
The only time you ever see orange in it is when it's coming off the tow truck in Cooter's garage. It's just a real close-up shot, and you see the hood kind of by accident, and you can see chunks of orange under the black from where it's been scraped off by the tow truck bar.
I totally missed that.
That's the only time, but it's clearly a General Lee. Well, it maybe not be. It's a 69 Charger driving around. It just has normal wheels. It has no vinyl top, but it's got the vinyl top trim. It has their CB antenna on it. And there's one scene when the crooks are still in the car, and you see just how ratted out that interior is. Like when the doors open.
You see the color match duct tape on the seat?
I assumed that they had taped it and just sprayed the whole damn thing.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
Because where else are you going to find tan duct tape in 1986?
I've been talking with Corndog. When we get to these further episodes, I want to see if we can tell which cars we're looking at, because it's pretty likely that the remaining 17 cars that are still alive today we're seeing on screen in the last season. They got to be in there somewhere. So I wonder if that car was one that the guy named Frank, I forgot Frank's name for the last second here, but he owns a screen used generally that looks a lot like that one, but much nicer now. There's a picture of the engine on the stand, which is a 383. I don't know if you took a good look at it, but I have used that picture as a reference for my car. It's orange, so I made mine orange instead of blue. Mm-hmm. I have everything for my engine to mimic that thing. I got a wind intake from Bill at Holly. I got, I'm going to put the Holly Terminator on it. The only thing I'm lacking, and I really need, is a pair of vintage Moroso B-block headers. I don't have them. You can get Moroso valve covers new, but they're different. I need the old school kind. So if anybody, a 383 or a 400 would work.
And Moroso made headers for those things back in the day.
I'm sorry, did I say headers? I meant valve covers.
Oh, okay.
Valve covers. Headers I already have. That's already handled. But I really liked this episode. What's interesting, though, is when the General Lee's all brand new and done, the reason it's orange is because Cooter only had orange paint. That's all he had available. But when it rolls out, it's got the wide push bar and the light tan interior. So all of the episodes we ever saw with dark interior and the little push bar, they're just a mystery. They never happened. Were they a dream sequence?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I, too, will give this a 15 out of 10 possible, what is it, lot, lizard, crack cocaine, what? I forget all that.
It's all of those things.
Because it is your last episode, but also this is one of my favorite episodes, too. It's a great one to wrap out together here. So that is my review as well. All right.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Okay. Well, this brings us to the conclusion of this format of the show. So will you come on from time to time for rare but hilarious appearances via phone, unscripted, with little to no notice?
Yes. Probably from my truck or an airplane. Yes. Yes, I will.
That'd be good. We are going to go to some Dukes events, and I'll let you know when they happen. You don't have to come participate with us, but I mean, I think you'd enjoy going. They're pretty fun.
I would love to. I've yet to be at a Dukes event. I'd love to go to one.
There's one I have circled that's at the end of January in Nashville at the Cooters event. That's a 40th anniversary thing. And then there's another one that you should really make is in Covington, Georgia, which I believe is in June. That'd be a really neat one. But, well, everybody, thank you for listening. You can follow the show. Next year it's called Kibby and Friends. And Bernie and Corndog will both be regular voices in the show. We'll have Mike on from time to time, I'm sure. But KAFS is why we called it Kibby and Friends Show, because we're cheating, so all the links still work, from from the past. At some point over Christmas break here, the name and logo change will stuff will be on that. But if you follow us on Instagram now, it shouldn't affect you in the slightest. So everything should be good there. Mike, thank you for doing this with me for several years. I've truly enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. If this ever pops up again someday, I'm all in again. You got it. Okay.
It's been great. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for listening.
Alrighty. We'll catch you later. Merry Christmas. Goodbye. Hey there. This is Rob. Well, that's it. That's Mike's finale. And Mike, you'll be missed by all of us. So many of you wrote in, and I'll say it out loud. I know it's true. The chemistry of working together, that was something special. It really was. So special that we have no intention of trying to duplicate it going forward. We're not going to bring in a Mike clone. That's one of the best reasons to have Corndog here. They're very different guys, but they both have hearts of gold, and they both love cars. So they're both great candidates to host this show. But I just wanted to publicly, thank Mike. It was a wonderful opportunity to get my dream to build a buddy show around cars. And that's how this all started, and that's one of the reasons we get to continue. And also to say, just so many of you wrote in with a phrase that kind of went like, I came for Mike but stayed for Kibby. I'm going to admit it's tough for me to take a compliment like that. I try to breeze over those and just ignore them and put the highlight on somebody else. But I am going to accept it, and I'm going to say thank you. That's a really cool thing to do. So 2019 is going to be cool. Change is always hard, but over the last couple days especially, I've been getting really excited as we've started to draw out what we want to do next year. It's going to be fun. So with that, I'll go ahead and play all the clips back to back to back. Oh, if you want to know what Mike said when I left for a minute, yeah, we cut that out. I do not need a explicit R rating on his last show. No, thank you. So here's all the clips back to back to back. Enjoy.
You see, it was 8 years ago today that the General Lee came into being. Because before then, he was just another car.
He's one of the family, and he's earned it. To the General.
Our best pal. He ain't never let us down.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You know, y'all ain't a soul in Hazzard, including Boss Hogg, that ain't been bailed out one time or another by the old General.
It's hard to think we were ever without him.
Yeah, but we were, though. It's been, my gosh, it's been 8 years. I was just out of the Marine Corps. You were just getting out of high school. We was driving that old wreck of a truck.
we swiped, honey.
We made a clean getaway. I told you we'd make a great team, baby.
This is our biggest hit so far. We got us 50 grand in gold dust.
Shoot, Bonnie and Clyde didn't start out this good.
Sure is a beauty.
Looks powerful, don't it?
Yeah.
Well, we put every ounce of know-how we got into that engine.
Yeah, and a couple ounces we ain't got.
Boys, if you was to get the money, do you think you could have a car ready to race by Saturday?
Well, that's 3 days away. Providing we could find a body and a chassis that thing would fit into, and providing we could come up with that $500 entry fee.
I'm going to get you that money.
What are you talking about?
Wow.
I'm going to J.D. Hogg, and I'm going to ask him for a loan.
You said you'd never go to Boss for a loan.
You know he's just gonna rip you off, Uncle Jesse.
I know that. Now, just be quiet. When you get a little older, you'll learn that sometimes you just got to take a chance on the people you love and do what you got to do. And right now, we got to get ourselves a race car.
And meanwhile, over in Hazzard, little old pudgy Boss was working on his race car, his pride and joy back in them days. The Hogg Hellcat.
Here come them nosy Dukes.
Oh, good grief. Oh, I certainly am going to earn my 1%. Oh, good grief.
J.D. Hello, Jesse.
We got to talk to you. We got something very important to talk to you about.
All right, go ahead.
We want to ask you...
Huh?
I can't say it. You say it.
Well, boss, we need a loan.
Oh, is that what you want, a loan?
Yeah.
Never let it be said that J.D. Hogg's Bank of Hazzard County ever turned down a fair request of any citizen for a loan.
Oh.
So I'll give you a loan at an interest rate of 30%.
30%? That's 3 times your usual rate.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, so it is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to attach your farm as collateral, too.
Our farm?
It's a little rich for our blood, ain't it?
A little rich. J.D., I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take the loan for 15% interest.
30% or forget it?
Forget it. Well, then.
Wait a minute. Boss, you have always wanted me to come to work for you at the Boars Nest, right?
Yeah, so?
Yeah.
Well, if you give Uncle Jesse 15% like he said, I'll do it.
Daisy, you don't want to go work for Boss.
Wait a minute! Hold your horses, everybody.
Good.
Let me get this straight, Daisy. You're saying that you'd go to work for me at the Boars Nest, permanent, if I give your Uncle Jesse a loan at 25% interest.
I said 15%, boss.
Make it 20.
15% or you can forget it.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You may be a Duke, but you sure got the most beautiful legs in all of Georgia.
Yeah.
So it's a deal.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's step number 1. Got us a chassis and a frame, just might work out for us. All we gotta do is straighten out that front end, drop that engine in there, and get the dang car to the starting line. We got 2.5 days.
It's a tall order, all right, but we're gonna have to do it. Jesse really stuck his neck out for us this time.
How do we get into these things?
Clean living, I guess.
You can call it fate. In Hazzard County, it's called Duke's luck.
Yeah.
But something led Bo and Luke to that capital city junkyard, and right up to that wreck of an old black Charger. Sounds like a song old Willie'd sang, don't it? If the boys only knew that hidden behind the dashboard of that wreck was $50,000 in gold dust, well, they wouldn't know how to spend it either. Now, back in Capital City, the Gold Dust twins had finally made the rounds of the junkyards and hit pay dirt.
Yeah, that's right. Sure, I was hauling in yesterday. Beat up black 68 coupe. Looked like it'd been through a meat grinder. Fellow was glad to get rid of it.
Where is it? We want that car.
Oh, sorry, you're a little late. 2 fellas bought it yesterday right after. They towed it away.
Who are they?
Come on, talk.
We want names. Where do they live?
I don't have no names. It was a cash deal. All I know is 2 young fellas. One was blonde and one was dark-haired, and they said it's from Hazzard. They called each other cousin.
All right, now, friend. You know what's good for you. You'll forget you even saw us.
What are you doing?
Welding the doors shut.
What are you doing that for?
Well, you weld the doors shut on a racing car for safety's sake.
How'd he get in?
Climbed through the windows.
Count me up.
Meanwhile, the baddies had been in Hazzard asking questions about two cousins, one dark-haired and the other blonde. They was told that it was probably the Duke boys, since the only other cousins like that was Thurlow Wesley's two mules.
Hi, boys. You got a second? We'd like to talk to you.
Yeah, sure, we got a second. What can we do for you?
Well, it's about that wrecked car you guys picked up in Capital City yesterday. You see, it got pulled onto that junkyard by mistake. It's ours, and we'd like it back.
Shoot, mister.
Please, fellas, it's not worth anything. Besides, we went on our honeymoon in that car.
Yeah, you know, it's got a lot of sentimental value, so come on, how about it?
We'd sure like to help you out, but we paid for that car fair and square. We got plans for it.
Now, come on, boys, we'll pay you what it cost you, but we want that car.
Mister, we need the car till Saturday, so maybe after then we can sit around and talk about it, but...
We ain't waiting. Come on, move around the corner here and let's discuss this.
Come on, bro.
Come on, move it.
Friends, that must have been some honeymoon.
What I can't understand, though, is what they want with this old wreck anyway.
Well, there's only two reasons. Either they want to put it somewhere where nobody will ever find it, or they got something hidden in it.
Well, we about had it torn apart and ain't seen nothing.
Whatever it is, we're gonna have to worry about it later. That race is tomorrow, and we ain't even fired up a spark plug.
No, we still got plenty of work left to do.
All right. Hit it. Hit it again.
Yes, sir. We got us a haul. Is this all the paint you got here, Cooter?
This is all orange.
Yeah, y'all, I am a little thin in the paint department, but now that's a nice reddish orange. Huh?
You know,
like
for
it.
8 years, I've been wondering how that happened.
Can't drive it to the start.
When the sun finally rose on Hazzard the morning of the big race 8 years ago, the sound of a powerful motor could be heard coming out of Cruder's garage.
Awesome. It's just awesome.
Yeah, and this old boy's gonna run awesome, too.
And I love the way you put that old one on the side, fellas.
Yeah, well, from now on out, that's going to be the story of our lives. We start out with nothing. It's #1 here all the way.
Hey, man, I'll tell you something else. Uncle Jesse couldn't have come up with a better name. I mean, after we put the rebel flag on there and stuck that Dixie horn in there couldn't have been nothing more appropriate than General Lee.
Well, y'all, we only got a couple hours till race time. If we're gonna get a trial run, we better get at it. And Bo, listen. I'm letting you drive this thing, but you be careful.
Yeah, I'll be careful.
Hey.
Boss Sheep calling Shepherd. Boss Sheep calling Shepherd, come back.
This is Shepherd, I hear you. How's it going?
We're doing just fine. We got a couple of minor adjustments to make, but why don't y'all jump in the truck and meet us over at the Boars Nest?
Any sign of them gunslingers?
No, and we're keeping our fingers crossed. Hey, Uncle Jesse, me and Bo think we got a chance of winning that thing.
Listen, we'll get on over there and get you boys signed in and pay the entry fee and everything. And boys, I'm proud of you. This is Shepherd, huh?
Did you see who was in that racing car? That looked like them two hit cousins.
And it looked just like our car.
Great. The dang bridge is washed out.
No, we got them now.
Why ain't you slowing down? We're gonna crash.
Wish me luck.
Folks, this here is a historic moment. The first jump ever made by General Lee.
It's okay, Sheriff. We'll have to take the long way around, but we'll get them.
You okay?
Yeah.
We just jumped a dang creek.
Yeah. General Lee always was a cavalryman, huh?
We built more into this car than just plugs and pistons, I guess.
And this is the Boars Nest 8 years ago. Well, at least it didn't deteriorate. And this is the start-finish line of the big race. It's going to either save the Duke farm or plow it under.
The Dukes is entering the car in the big race, and here's our $500 entry fee. Give me an application.
You're entering the race.
Yes, the Duke. Don't tell me that you're serious and thinking that you can beat anybody in that piece of junk you just drove up here.
No, we're entering the General Lee, boss.
General Lee? General Lee? Honey, General Lee is dead.
Yeah.
Just like yours and anybody's chances of beating me and my hog, Hellkid. Yeah. What in the name of all that's holy is this thing?
Boss, meet the General Lee.
Oh, it's a General Lee. Well, it sure is the ugliest color I ever did see.
Oh, ugly, ugly, ugly.
Ugly, huh? Well, about the only thing you're going to see of this car once the race starts is the tail end spitting dust back at you.
Oh, is that so? Did you hear that, Rosco?
Oh.
These Dukes think they're going to beat the hog Hellkid.
Oh, tish tosh here. Listen, in fact, I am so confident that Boss's car is going to beat this orange clunker that if it doesn't, I will cut off my mustache.
Yeah, and I'll eat my hat.
Oh, you'll eat his hat.
Retire or something. We got to stop.
Listen, you want marksmanship called Robin Hood, all right?
Look at that, Jimmy, a bow and arrow. That got to be kidding.
All right. Come on, Rosco, what's going on?
What's going on with Bo and Luke?
Well, folks, the race is about over, and Hogg's Hellcat is number one. There ain't nobody else in sight. And speaking of sights, just wait till you folks cast your beady blues on the colorful new sack of Hogg's Happy Fertilizer.
It's a bag of gold dust, bro. Must have been stuck up there underneath the dashboard. Hey, you know something? I bet that's what them two is after.
You got that right. Listen, we'll get into that later. Right now, we got a race to win.
Think you can pull off that jumping trick again? Yeah, with my eyes closed.
Better rip.
And so the race had a happy ending. The Dukes won the $10,000 prize and caught up a little on their debts, was able to buy a new well pump, and even give part of it to charity. The road company, Bonnie and Clyde, was apprehended and confessed to stashing the gold dust behind the General's instrument panel. So that mystery was solved. And last but not least, the icing on the cake, as Boss and Rosco paid off their race debt. You know, I think old Boss is beginning to put on a little bit of weight.
Well, I'll never forget that day as long as I live.
At the rate you're going, that's going to be a long time.
See y'all later.
Yeah, we got you. Pound that vehicle. I love it. We're going to pound this
You know something?
What's that?
If they went away, I think I'd miss them.
He may drive better, but he ain't no smarter.
And that, friends, is how General Lee came to live permanent with the Dukes. And Hazzard County ain't been the same since.
you.